I don't think we will. But as we take a look at the live agent select here, we have instant lock-ins from both sides.
So RRQ play the old kind of comp there, but not that KO. It's the Omen look instead with the double controller. I really like this choice. I think Omen's biggest strength is being able to disrupt space in mid on the attacking side, throw down smokes, teleport top two, and really make life difficult for Lysor as that Killjoy player.
What I like about it is actually the playing also as a second layer to that duelist. No matter if it is on the attack or on the defense, he gives you another layer of depth that I actually favor as well.
Watch on their AXX as well. If they're putting their smoke on pipes, that does a lot to pull a lot of attention, bait out utility. There's some great ideas with this Omen.
Let's find out. This one makes it to a map 3. Send it back to your casters, Uber and Wyatt.
Now, on many levels, I agree with Mimi's sentiment about the whole storyline of RRQ losing the first map and all their series of being cope. And it is true. There was a lot of fracture in the pool, though, during the run through Pacific for RRQ, and they often had to run to that, or Genji's Haven, for example. This is a different one. They just picked their first map, or they had their best map picked against them, they lost it. Now it's on Icebox, so they need to recover. Some talk about the double controller style here for RRQ. They'd lack that second initiator with this setup. It will leave them a little flashlight, potentially, and also no access to the wingman.
Those extra smokes are great when you're playing for retakes or when your Viper wall is down, allowing you to still obscure some of those dangerous angles. Speaking of dangerous wolves. All the way pushing out to B.
All right, ends up being a 2-for-2. Lysor able to double down. Ah, yes. A good old classic clash of forces at the start of the pistol. Silfat is fortunately not able to draw a bead on Xfero. So RRQ, the party comes to them.
That is Monyet nullifying all of that aggression. The three-piece multi-kill. Starting off hot here. Had some good moments, some rough moments on map 1. Was certainly playing aggressive, though. You can't take that away from him.
I mean, talk about a redemption arc from Monyet. He was the scapegoat after that struggle for PRX in Madrid. He had to find his own way, forge his own path after his tenure with that team, and he's found himself right alone here on RRQ.
It's really taken a long time for RRQ to find their own way, just slowly shifting pieces in their roster as 2024 went on, and then Crazy Guy really being the final piece of the puzzle for them that is taking them to this next level that they could never reach in the past. Chemkin going to get another first kill to open up this anti-eco. That is his specialty as the rest of the team slowly make their way back. Yellow and...
Wow, that might have been 2 taps, 2 headshots there, Wyatt.
Yeah, they were basically lined up. Okay,
Spike down B.
Trade that out, but that does just remove a ghost, so ultimately, doesn't matter.
Man, Wood really want to fight these first couple rounds. Always sticking a player right up towards RRQ. Oh yeah, he's 5-1. Stunning stuff. Jemkin. That first kill he opens up, continues that trend.
Wait, that's pretty
That is
sick.
Absolutely raw.
Listen, Monyet is getting pretty close early to having a Viper's Pit for one of these post plants. He is feeling good. You cannot blame him. All right, RRQ, what do you have on this bonus? That basically feels like a full buy. They have 3 Vandals.
Revealing area.
Just your standard recon to get that close info towards the A orb side. As Chemkin patiently waits out any potential aggression, and we'll see how far Juicy wants to take this.
They've done their homework. Jemkin, pen in hand, showing that it will be mightier than the Vandal in this case. Juicy stripped down to a bare 57 points of health. He's out of there.
On the retreat with YU. We'll pivot away from Wolves, and hearing that 2-man retreat, RRQ feel very content to just take the space for free lightning fast trade from Monyet.
The lack of Omen here for the defenders means they can't just throw that one way up a green again and slow this down. They lack that level of stall utility that RRQ has access to. Oh, Xfero gets the drop.
Oh, ready for that. Push all the way through. They are going to get into a 3 versus 3 post plant. A lot of damage done to a couple of these RRQ players, however, and that's going to keep them at bay. They're going to want to rotate off. Oh, wow. Mysore not able to get fully on that. And the cloud goes up, so they can cross with some safety. The breaking of that turret is certainly going to give things away.
Monya had a chance to get ahead of that timing, but it could have been awkward. He would have been on his own.
It's a full commitment from Lysor, a very experienced player on this team. Time is dwindling so low. Pressure right now gets his.
Takes a shot down to start with, but at least is able to find a 1-for-1. Dizzy out on the side. It's Jemkin. Vulnerable down to 47. He's the wingman coming. He gets to see his breakfast the second time. 3 for Spring in that round. Wolves finally able to slow the game down enough to be in position.
They get there just in time to be able to play off of Lysor's decision to anchor in this situation with that Dizzy coming up top on that forced to break. Perfect swing out timing from Spring. We're right back to the hype from Supat. Right back to it.
For every reason, they're getting off to a decent start after dropping the pistol. Stopping that RRQ bonus is a big deal, and the fact that now we'll still have so many rifles to levy against RRQ's actual buy. But Monyet, with all of his early action, Wyatt has gotten that Viper's Pit online.
RRQ have taken some space towards this A side as they just have Monyet towards spawn, waiting out to see if there's any potential aggression, given Wolves showed a willingness to push hard through B main on that first pistol. Juicy tried it again. Drone going to clear out these close angles near 410, allow Jemkin to slowly work into position. They want to wait this Viper's wall.
No anchor. No one in the site here for the defenders. They're hoping to make use of that Gecko util, the Owl drone to get them here. And that Snakebite has effectively stopped the plant for the time being.
And they are taking the time, or Wolf's going to try to flood when this Recon. Dizzy comes through as well. Why you on the duel? But Jemkin, first blood.
And that position, Jemkin knows he gets a straight up 1v1 if it's only an individual player and Boiler, but Spring picks him off eventually. Viper's Pit in the post plant. No Gecko to clear this either.
Cover going out.
No lockdown to force the attackers out of it. That's all because Monyet got started so early.
No real utility at all for Wolves. It's going to come down to finding a timing in this pit, trying to root Monyet out.
She assumes the position and Heaven Cyber doesn't quite have the chance for making the shot. Crazy guy makes it count. Monyet inside the pit there with the shorty. And that's just a situation where Wolves don't really have anything to play into that pit. It's too early for the ultimates that could actually give them an edge there.
I think they missed the timing window that they needed to take, which was flooding back in when there was some initial stall. They stopped the spike being put down. There were 3 players in that dark cover Heaven. But YU takes that first duel. It was a little disjointed from everyone else. I would have liked to have seen them have gotten very proactive before the spike went down, before Monyet could have even gotten that pit off. Lacking that Gecko with the wingman is really tough in that situation, trying to get back in. It's resulted with Wolves being put to a very early eco here. Juicy again, just loving to push up B main, and that has kept Monyet in the spawn. Has to be patient, wait out any further push.
You can always play off that turret contact should there be a push elsewhere from Wolves, if it's up mid, for example. Slow around for RRQ. The regimentation of this team starting to shine through. There's no information really for Wolves about his movements on the map now. This, in theory, would draw someone like Juicy out. That's a toggle of their Viper ball. Juicy's starting to wonder what the purpose is. He knows. He knows RRQ are not going B. He knows it's a fake. Just push up pretty close with his pistol. Won't go well.
And off that RRQ. No to accelerate. This is going to be a free plant because she has the spike. Going to get the Hunter's Fury to have that for the next buy round. Things are looking good for RRQ. Would be shocked if they lose too many guns in this situation at all either.
I mean, the level of meticulous that RRQ have taken into this basically full anti-eco round is pretty astounding. They know how important it is to start to build that economic base, so they respect Wolves even on a round where they have basically nothing.
Not that I don't think RRQ would be playing particularly patient and going for some late round pivots anyhow, but it definitely does feel like that pistol round 4-man push from Wolves early on instilled the fear of God in them, and now they are waiting out the potential for a play like that again. And even what was around 2 or 3, Juicy just kind of ran it down B main.
Oh, okay, crazy guy. I know he saw that.
Remaining.
YU Sheriff will detain, and then he will perish to the blast. So Wolves really only popped up for air once so far, that first buy round. Outside of that, silenced somewhat, but it will be an op now in the hands of Juicy. Big investment made. Lockdown at the ready for the defenders. And now it's time to put their heads together. Think of how they're supposed to craft a winning recipe in this round.
One enemy remaining.
Cushy will definitely be saving that Hunter's Fury though if the lockdown is used. Just the natural, easy 1-for-1 ult counter could come up. Wolves have also saved up enough cash where they can get an op into the hands of Juicy, go for some of those standard control plays where you have your Jet just watching over a B main, the rest of the team can stack up towards A. Standard ways to control the map.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how that previous round went. RRQ very carefully went A, hoped for a push-up, had a player sat in spawn watching the B flank. It never came, but eventually they did test Juicy, who was in like a 1 versus 4 with nothing but a classic. Now that kind of round looks vastly different, of course, as they can post him up on yellow. Or on Gen over on the A side. That's less common now because it's so easily denied by an owl drone to push that Jet off the line. But now, far more options at the disposal of Wolves on this defense side.
I really do want to give Fade a lot of credit.
Absolutely.
The timeouts that he's been taking throughout this tournament. It's easy to point at the players who are going insane individually when Spring has come up with so many crucial duel wins. He's putting up sick numbers, Juicy doing the same. But we've seen countless times out of these timeouts that Wolves directly are able to win the subsequent round. Fade has done so much for this team. Let's see if it'll be the case here. Juicy is opting to actually push down mid with this op. Early drone being used by RRQ to take space towards A.
But he smoked the defender side spawn, so this definitely keeps Wolves looking in that direction, and it is going to open a window for RRQ to probe the map elsewhere.
Trying to make them think that they're going for the iconic Jing play, but it's not going to happen. And even further is Jemkin trying to sell his presence on A. There are rotates being drawn over there, and now that's why you just be caught in the open. It's not even a trade. You can't find one.
Okay, that off for Juicy. Had to find some value this round, and so it does. There will still be a plant, though, as Monyet just disrespects the poison orb. Doesn't quite mind if he decays down. He gets his job done.
Maybe Jemkin hoping to find a timing where he can get top 2, pick up that angle. Now just going to rotate back to B main, meet up with the rest of the pack. Juicy pressuring back yellow. Here comes that Hunter's Fury. Has to take out the lockdown.
He knows where Xferu has to stand in theory in the back corner, but Xferu is able to win it out.
Standing.
Unclear how he manages to pull that off. But either way, it's backbreaking for Wolves to suffer that double there. Lockdown committed by Lysor, no result for the defenders. RRQ looking dominant.
The most unique, cool thing about this RRQ team is how much they love to run fakes. And choosing to go for that pretty mental fake right out of the timeout just to throw a wrench in the works of the plans laid by Wolves, bringing the op into that round, completely disrupts their defensive setup. It's just so bizarre to have a fake Omen TP into a smoke in spawn, the Jemkin selling an A hit so they can get to B with only one defender there. It is a crazy round. It's just so cool to use that out of a timeout just as a massive disruption to whatever the intentions for Wolves were going to be.
And it's kind of conditioning as well. Because what happens next time Crazy Guy does that? Does he stick it? If he gets another ultimate on this half, I'll be very curious to see how he makes use of it. Mosh pit going to be drawn out of the defenders here on the B side. That's to stall RRQ, but they are in absolutely no hurry.
Here. It is just this patented patience. Will Wolves walk into their waiting arms? A couple of players getting back yellow with these sheriffs in hand. Jemkin is prepped and ready.
Going for it. Tailwind forward, wants to take the fight. Easily handles YU. Goes a little bit low.
Here.
This is more than enough for RRQ so far. Once again, respecting these anti-eco situations they're forced to play into. Able to shove Juicy off the line. The Blade Storm is yet awkwardly applied. Juicy can't get value when Jemkin knows he's going to be coming from the left anyway. What's happening here, Lysor?
30 seconds left.
Effortless play from RRQ. Jemkin just continuing to absolutely dominate in the first kill department. Sure, just an anti-eco,
Spike
but
planted.
he has been so consistent with that throughout this attack half so far. That is what he is known for.
Honestly, RRQ also more than happy to spend ultimates in these anti-eco scenarios. They don't care. They respect Wolves' capacity on rounds like this just as much as any other, apparently. Flawless round for RRQ. The stacks are piling up.
Probably shouldn't have been, but the economic damage would not have mattered in the slightest anyhow, so we'll give that one a pass.
Stunning stuff,
Late
yeah.
recon as well is just perfect for catching out the players who were
One enemy
having to path out of the way because of Jemkin dashing in there. No opportunity to turn and break the recon. All too easy, Wolves. Again, they want to invest into this operator. Big cash being spent. Juicy not able to find impact in the game yet. Not able to make his mark. Maybe it is now that Viper Wall temporarily will cover up the sight line. He wants to stay top yellow. He has a teammate to help.
Oh, there was an opportunity there. He lingered. That dark cover operating is like the cascade would in these harbor comps, denying Juicy the ability to peek over the Viper Wall.
This time it is very straightforward from RRQ. Working to be main, get the lockdown off, get the free sight, Viper Wall up. Easy plan, play for the post plan, but a couple significant initiator ultimates that Wolves will have to make a real go at this retake.
The plan for YU. Okay, Juicy's able to pick Monyet off. Xfero's tucked here. Juicy suspects it, but he's been showing barrel this entire time. Some fans through the walls. Tifak gives himself away, but Xfero wants a bit more of it towards the snowman direction.
Standing.
This time, though, Wolves finding some success in his post plant. Being on Crazy Guy now, and he's going to have to face the music. Eventually, Wolves going to come to collect. And already that defuse gets started. YU pushes on up. Good composure there for Wolves. They had to deal with the lockdown on that round. And they can recover the operator for use later.
RRQ just really wanted to fight forward and entrench themselves in the site. The problem with doing that on Icebox is you just become susceptible to so many positions. I mean, look at Icebox seeing two players just walking up through orange there, and then when you're Xfero, you're awkwardly forced to take a duel with someone that could be in-spawned, and there's a guy in Snowman. It's really overwhelming. I think they wanted to try and play forward and more aggressively against the fact that there could have been those ults coming through rather than just being forced all the way back and allowing Wolves to take the space. But difficult to play either situation regardless. That being said, it's resulted in Wolves not having to use a single ult yet.
No one from Wolves is in this kitchen or slope area. Now move up there from Spring. You kind of see there's something funky happening in mid.
Spring is mild. Oh, that God! Lethal shot onto Moon. Yeah, that was
With a Phantom.
so fast. Just as he rounded that corner.
It was really just playing back into the map.
This is looking quite disastrous for RRQ. They're trying to now just slowly creep into this A site. Spring is hungry for more, but shot down by Jemkin. Opportunity to get in, but going to be difficult to pop, These mollies going to keep them at bay. Wolves are not fully buying it. They haven't rotated too quickly over. So it's not like they can flood in or really pressure off of this plant. So RRQ have a fair shot here. Again, I keep repeating myself, but it's these ultimates from Wolves. This Thrash should be able to clear out anyone close, but my eyes are on Xfero. He wants to be the X Factor. He's working his way up mid on this flank.
Tilfat's watching for it, though. I don't think Xfero has the timing here he was hoping for. There's a Thrash. Then there's a player on 4-10. They drop down. Jemkin in the sight, though. He's fighting for his life. Vitalry headshot and Kuchi on the move up, catches out YU. Now we're down to 2 players for Wolves, and they've got to make something happen. Hunter's Fury collects nothing. Tucks his Kuchi. Juicy from above descends on him. Shorty claims him. And now Jemkin doesn't have the line, he doesn't have a shot on the spike. Gets rid of Juicy, but Superfat is on there. And is able to just win it out. Time is on their side. 0.09 seconds. And Wolves get a crucial 3rd round.
0.09 is absolutely crazy. Coach Payne needed to...
Just a wry smile.
So yeah, slight smile, take a sip. That looked doomed for Jemkin, given he was so far away. Oh my God. That's keeping Wolves in the half. but it's just not getting any easier. RRQ are so economically ahead. It's buy after buy after buy. Spring on this round is going to opt to just use that pit immediately, control towards this A side, standard one thrown down. The hope for RRQ, if they want to get through it, is going to be using Cushy's drone. It's not going to be expended. And then you have Juicy controlling B main with the AWP. This is a good setup for Wolves right now. I like what they're doing in this early round.
The defense side, KJ turret location is really interesting. Watching out towards top mid, but Lysor is exploring that himself.
I mean, mid is really the only
good option
map where Wolves have a bit of anxiety, and that's why they have rotated, a couple players. You do have Mad. Oh my God, dangerous. Swings into Jemkin. Never want to do that.
He has to take that risk because there's no turret to take contact of Tube, so you can't swing off that.
Right here.
He does actually send out the drone to re-clear Tube. Doesn't spot anyone. Doesn't see anyone going under Tube. Juicy will now have an opportunity to open this round up. Drone is not going to spot him.
This is dangerous. Very dangerous for Juicy. He is in the lion's den. And he's just having to get out somehow. Low is YU. Mognet runs into him. Here's a burst of pace from RRQ, and Juicy in 8 health still is having to lock it down as Jemkin taken out of the game. Juicy knows he's going to get pushed around a corner, and Cushy does finally fell him. RRQ have found the opening they need, and Mognet has a timing from upper. It's on Lightsaw. Passively watching mid for much of the round. He's got a sixth sense about that mid push, but the timing doesn't favor him. He still wins it out. 16 points of health. And Lightsaw is in a 1 versus 1 against Cushy.
That is a brutal whiff. Does Cushy just want to swing out? Does he want to take a timing right now?
Lightsaw sees him coming. And unfortunately, he's not fast enough to stop him. 7 rounds here for RRQ. That one, though, very hard fought.
Got more dangerous than it should have ever been. Shots from Juicy were phenomenal. And how the hell did he get out when he was getting sprayed on that first escape attempt? That was a reality. Nice. So crazy. Wolves put back onto the eco. They've been losing so many players, even in the rounds that they've been winning. They just can't buy.
This is shaping up to be a heck of a half from RRQ. Shaky map 1, but your Pacific #1 seed now brimming with confidence on Icebox.
Hey, with that being said, it's not like we haven't seen a team get off to a big lead on Icebox attack, the side swap, and the team that gets onto attack go just as crazy. You can just run over these sites.
Spike planted.
Straightforward early plant. Cushy not bothered by the snake bites. Juicy has to get off that line basically instantly. Wayward Sheriff shot, and Jemkin says, right, well, it's time for me to go to work. I have the sickle. You are the crops that I'm about to reap. Naturally on for the ace, as Wolves do not want to feed another Blade Storm over to Jemkin. So they wait. Jemkin starts to close in, and they know Juicy says, no ace for you, I'm running at your teammate. Flawless though for RRQ against this anti-eco. Once again, respecting it and playing with a good burst of pace.
Taking a little note out of their Pacific Brethren's playbook with Karen and Texture. Just gonna steal that ace away during Jemkin's debut. Hate to see that. Another first kill down. Just to add up to what is already a remarkable tally. Lysor won't be too upset about dying there, though. That's going to get him the lockdown for this final round. Wolves' final opportunity to get back on the board. Juicy, another operator investment.
Has enough to get full armor as well, so why not?
RRQ taking a lot of early space on A on account of that drone being used, hoping that the shock darts will clear out some of the mollies that have really been keeping RRQ at bay while executing. And those shock darts do just that.
So there's enough time for Xpero to plant here and walk away with that lockdown intact. That's going to be destroyed. Monyet pushes up, gets rid of it. Viper's Pit now going to be thrown out. This is going to deny Boiler away for the defenders for the time being.
Second lockdown as well is going to waste so much time for Wolves. You can see the benefit of having the Omen there. The fact that you could cover up that choke on screens. Monyet could run forward, deal with that. But now I'm looking at the double flank from Wolves. Super aware. What is this teleport from Crazy Guy, man?
The deck stacked against Wolves here, but they're able to find a way in. YU's found his second. Cushy can't quite hold the line. It's going to be Spring who finds the trade. Now on the side of the Blade Storm, it's Juicy. He's looking for more, and I can't believe it. deck might have been stacked against them, but Wolves draw a Joker. And that's all they need. 4 rounds on this defense side, not too shabby as RRQ has such an early lead.
They go for some mental plays in that post-plant, which were dealt with handily by Wolves. Getting 4 on the board, hey, that's enough to win on the side swap for Icebox attack. Get that pistol, get rolling from there. They can make a serious go at it.
RRQ showing a little bit of their prowess though, going ahead 8-4 rounds of this first half of Icebox. Stick around, much more to come for this map, and hopefully series.
You might have heard I'm going through a little upgrade with my tats. So when Verizon announced that everyone gets a free phone on any plan, pain-free, count me in. Try and beat it. I'll give you a sec.
Walking past, get blinded by your headlights. Tunnel vision, losing feeling here in paradise. I don't know if I can take it, can we slow it down, down? And telling me to stay low-key and we'll be sweet. Got me feeling like I'm sitting in your backseat. I don't know, but I'm fine being here for now. I know we'll be fine, yeah. You stay here in my mind, yeah. Talk me out of this crisis. Talk me out of this crisis. I fell in my sights again. Don't know if I want this to end. Talk me out of this crisis. Talk me out of this crisis. I found myself in.
15 kills, 8 deaths. 4 of those first kills for Jemkin. He has answered the call as the star player for RRQ. And he's been leading his team from the front on this Icebox map. It's a great start for RRQ. Of course, they really get the opening to the half that they were looking for. Converting that pistol before the bonus goes against them. Let's talk Coinbase Econ report now. Post Jemkin has an astounding 91.5. He is absolutely converting those credits into damage round after round.
Xpharaoh as well, looking good. Just hasn't had too many deaths on yet. Having a great half on the Viper. He was finding the really high impact kills. Obviously some struggles over on the side of Wolves. Juicy investing in that operator a lot. And in contrast to Ascent, where Sufao was fragging hard, clutching, yet to make his name here on Icebox, but perhaps if Wolves can rally back on attack, that's where he's going to do it. We've seen this map be so attacker-sided favored at times. Wolves are hoping that's going to be the case for them right now, that they can continue the dream run that they're on. The biggest underdog we've had in this tournament. Were written off before it even began. And against all odds have made it to the playoffs and are looking like the best team China sent. Not a single soul expected.
And unlike China's #1 seed, it does feel like RRQ is acclimated much more quickly to these conditions than that Sheila Gaming roster.
Certainly. I was so concerned about that when we were getting into that second half of Ascent. When they lost that pistol round in the second half, it felt like we were going to get a repeat of yesterday. That maybe the nerves were there, they weren't ready for the stage, go off to a slow start.
All right, a brief monitor issue has now been rectified. We are moments away from jumping into the pistol in the second half. RRQ lead Wolves 8 rounds to 4. Let's get it started.
RRQ pushing down just a bit to collect that orb on the A side. It's a patient Wolves working forward off this wall. Drone to clear out everything close. Have to be concerned that Jemkin could be tucked somewhere. Spotted out on pipes. Wolves, they want to accelerate, but there are 3 players from RRQ, and they're looking intentional with anchoring. They want to fight.
As he got cleared, here's Juicy though from Dice. Good little headshot to get him open. That was Crazy Guy found 2. It doesn't matter. Wolves have the numbers to overwhelm RRQ with some great openers. Should be in a position now to stick the landing. It's on Monyet.
Just look at the death markers there. Everyone from RRQ wanted to flood in, but Wolves winning out the duels.
They never got a chance to really flood adequately off that rafter position. The pace from Wolves had them really still on the starter's mark when they had to fight.
The second that they got that info with the drone on 2 players, one bottom 410 and then Jemkin was pipes. I'm feeling like, hey, in this moment, positions are going to be scrambled. They're going to be trying to rotate around, get backside. We're going to get in there, just push right together. Everybody swing right together. Win out the duels. Lysor ready to just stand.
This is unbelievably boostio coded. I'm actually here for every second of it.
Little movement, but a lot of standing. I like it. All right, Wolves. Intending on just going towards A again early. Cushy is happy to keep getting this orb for free.
Lysor takes a Guardian this time around. And you're right, Sufat was definitely a standout player for Wolves on that Ascent game. Somewhat quieter on Wolves' defense side, but got involved in the action in that pistol. But Juicy really led the charge. He's got a Vandal. And up they come, inching over towards pipes. Cushy shows a bit of leg, takes damage for it. They've got to know that Jemkin is here. They're checking for it, and the J's gone.
I mean, they are basically running the exact same setup as the pistol round there, except it was a little more active from Cushy, hoping to bait for Jemkin to get a kill at some point, but it's not going to come. Wolves going to slow down the pace. They have not been a team to rush things on these attack rounds.
Much more structured than we expected them to be coming in this tournament, especially in that online. Sparrow's got snuck around on a timing. He's had to reveal himself there to take Lysor out of the game. Sufat is low. Handles the Killjoy.
Oh, and Juicy. Nice final shot. Was worried about Sufat for a second there. Could have gotten picked off. Perhaps even that gun recovered. A little bit of damage done, but ultimately not too significant. Wolves going to be able to bring in the important rifles here.
They're just checking for that spot.
Yeah, why not? I mean, they have to, obviously. They caught Jemkin there before, just...
There's a dark cover that's, getting there, but it's a little bit too early for that to bloom properly. So it's a 2-round game. Wolves with that pistol. Now the bonus, though. Some investment being made. It's an outlaw and a bit of an odd round for it, Wyatt.
I want to see how RRQ are going to opt to play with this Jemkin Cushy duo on A this time. It begins, as it has in the prior two, free orb being acquired for the Sova. Wolves would love for Juicy to find an opening pick. Just play slow around him.
It's got to be a headshot, though.
Why you spotted out. A little bit of damage.
He got softened up from that first engagement, so Juicy does get the one shot on him.
Up here, what's the move? Spring, Lysor, working mid. They activate that alarm bot, and then they just peel back. A minute on the clock. Wolves posted up outside of A, waiting for that dark cover to drop. Crazy Guy is going to be playing with a lot of one-ways, giving his team something to work off of.
Cushy under some pressure now. Just flattened by Dizzy. Couldn't see a damn thing. Juicy's actually opted to take up the Guardian here. They'll be on this A side. Look how meticulous they are. Also, the push-up tube might be illuminating for Lysor.
30 seconds left.
Just this team taking their time. RRQ want to get in there, letting the wingman get the spike down. Lysor just chilling on the flank. Doesn't even need to make that
free.
chill.
The turret's not there to see him out. There was no way Crazy Guy was going to be ready for that walk up mid. Do we count that as an A split? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count. But I do like the round from Wolves.
What a bonus.
I mean, it starts off with this outlaw. You called it. Jemkin just takes a little bit of damage from YU, so he's one-shottable. After that, you have Spring and Lysor in mid. They trip that Killjoy utility, break it. Lysor bides his time. Spring goes back to the pack. Hit in with a 4-man swing into that A side. Lysor comes late. Nice little round that Wolves have played to convert this bonus. On the cusp of tying the game up. RRQ have Jemkin pushing a bit deeper than on those prior rounds up in Nest.
The plot armor on Wolves is pretty absurd. That play off the bonus working so beautifully. Coffers overflowing. Patient here. This approach, this Aldrone likely to reveal, some positioning. Cushy's down. Jemkin wants to stick around. It ends up being to his detriment also. Sufat.
No more.
Comfortably converts, and now RRQ, really don't have much to work with. They are run ragged on this A side. It's just Crazy Guy. Best he can hope for here is some kind of odd
Last
timing.
player standing.
Juicy is not going to give him an inch, baby.
This one is as good as done. Get another plant for that wingman while you're getting very close to the Thrash. Obviously, it's just easy to cycle that ultimate for the Gecko over and over. That's one of the major benefits of running the agent, that we don't see a whole lot of Gecko being played like we used to last year. Still effective enough on Icebox, one of the better initiators you can play for this map. Monyet recovers that rifle, just going to save. RRQ having trouble so far with this slow style that Wolves love to play. It's even funny to hear them talking about wanting to increase the pace in some of these games in their press conferences. When it comes to the attack sides, they are often as patient as it gets.
And there you have it. Toronto, we have an even game. How are you feeling? That's what I like to hear. All so unsteady, clawing these rounds back. Build up the pistol win. Now potentially, well, threatening to drive this game away from RRQ. This would be a timely moment to call that timeout, get Coach Ewok in the ears of the Pacific #1 seed.
Wolves are just trying to do what RRQ couldn't on that first map. Second half comeback, but actually close things out. The difference may just come from the fact that RRQ at least lost the pistol, and so it's made things a little bit easier for Wolves to just get this to 8-8. Their economy is absolutely out of control.
And unfortunately for RRQ, Jemkin has not been able to score a kill on this half yet.
Now, he's been trying to play aggro, but there hasn't really been utility behind him. It's just trying to tuck in corners, take a duel, dash away. There was that pretty unlucky round where he ran into the Outlaw after taking damage from YU, but then also just playing the tuck angle on pipes a couple times. Maybe at some point they can try to sync something up for him. But that being said, with his comp, they don't really have the flashes to play around either. You don't have that Dizzy to swing off of. You don't have a KO where you can throw a deep pop flash. Those are just not available to him. And they also don't have the economy to get an AWP in his hands, which is pretty unfortunate. I feel like at some point they're going to need to lean into that. It can't be now, however.
Something brewing, though, over on the B side of the map. This is going to be checked for, and very quickly Dizzy is pacified. Wolves realize just how far up RRQ have pushed. But for how long can they afford to maintain that advanced footing on the defense side? Because now Wolves will go elsewhere. They will sniff out
Placing swarm grenade.
a route to the plant.
Lyso had thrown a deep alarm bot into B main, but it does get broken, as does this turret. So
Means Cushy now can no longer get that free information in mid.
yeah, they want to be able to at least feign that they can pressure towards mid. Jemkin
Spike
doing
down
what he's been
A.
doing on these prior rounds.
Finally on the board in the second half. And as per usual, a first kill. He was 4-0 in the first half of Icebox.
That was a rapid trade, though, as this drone gets a lot of info deep in the A site. Intentions, of course, to just draw the attention of RRQ onto A, while the rest of the team just slowly, silently contact through main. One-way cloud going to drop.
They're almost guaranteed a plant here.
Yeah, now that the
30
wall
seconds left.
goes up, Crazy Guy has no opportunity to try to take an engagement from Snowman, but does eventually have to drop. 20 seconds now. Wants to swing out, but RRQ, they're just so spread across the map that it doesn't give anyone an opportunity to get too active. They have to go for a full retake. Cushy has the Hunter Sphere. That's the best tool that they've got available right now.
Going to help them clear yellow, potentially. They're already pinging over in that direction. Juicy in on the side. That's troublesome for Monyet. There it is. Okay, so Spring is picked up, and that also turns off the Viper Wall for later. Juicy now knows he's going to get multi-swung on this corner. It's getting a little bit close. Oh, no! It's a disaster for RRQ. And Cushy now just steps up to the side and knows he's virtually cooked here. Gets it to half. Has to fight for his life. One more tap and he'll have it. Sufat doesn't give him the full kit and caboodle, though. He won't give him an inch. Ice cold is Sufat. And he knows he has just delivered a back-breaking round win for Wolves.
He absolutely worked him. Just swinging out with the gun barrel is devious. Fair play to Cushy. He made a serious go at it. Wolves played that well, dividing themselves. Juicy running away, being the first to rush him. That is so sick.
Wolves are in the lead. What a massive round. RRQ, that was a buy and investment from them. Even the Hunter's Fury committed to the round. And now, Wolves with Viper's Pit and Thrash and Bladestorm. And a lead heading to round 18.
Jemkin has picked up that hero Vandal, intentions of fighting all of RRQ here. They swing out together, but the weapons are good enough to shut down by Wolves.
Decent enough, I suppose, for a buy of this nature. Monyet giving him hell. Attack Sparrow with only a Sheriff. And blinking, you'll miss it. Wolves charging to the lead. It's 10-8.
RRQ just lacking the utility required for some of these aggro plays. It's just coming down to having to straight up fight together, and they're at such a disadvantage there with just the one rifle. Player with a Sheriff, it's just not enough. Into this next round, I wanted to see this up at some point. Finally, the economy has gotten to a place where RRQ can actually purchase it, give it to Jemkin. This is going to have to be the crux of their success. To win a couple rounds in a row, get back in this half that has fallen completely out of their grasp. Try to win their map pick to take us to Lotus.
Wolves really trying to check every single corner here. They're definitely conditioned to Jemkin playing up close in Nest, and a player playing low from pipes.
Dizzy going to force him down to the low ground.
This is it.
They just, again, want to slow things down, take this space towards A, then work into the exec. Drone does spot out Sufat. Good info to see the Sova there, and that's actually going to call a rotate from B. Look at Monyet, he's trying to get to A right now. The Execute's coming through, Dizzy over the top.
Jemkin is forced back, finally off that line, has to drop low. Thrash could be a big problem for the Jet too.
I'd say Execute's coming through. Wolves, they're content to just keep playing it slow. Wait for this Thrash. Here we go. Now it's on.
YU sees the Omen TP away, spots two players in. Rafter knows that's probably enough to be going on with. It's Juicy into Nest. Crazy Guy doesn't have a chance to get eyes on him now. Juicy appears out of nowhere in the low ground. And Jemkin was forced off the site with his op. Desperately trying to get this weapon in his hands. And he's put it to use against Spring, but he remains on the outside looking in. And now Juicy is not done! Cutting a bloody swap through all of RRQ, such that Monyet at 5 health. He's got no business even trying to win the round for his team. RRQ are going to drop a third consecutive round.
Too scared to even attempt to go save that op with the low HP. Playing it safe, getting out with the rifle only. Jemkin gets one, but it's too little too late when he does.
At this rate, Wolves are going to buy almost for the rest of the game.
No, the bank is absolutely outrageous for them. Spring going to have a Viper's Pit into this next round. You have Lysol one away from getting the lockdown. Juicy at some point, pretty low on the scoreboard for Wolves, and now the most kills in the server at 19. He has been outrageous, and his story is just incredible. I mean, ascending years ago with Crazy Guy on his team, but being unable to play due to not being eligible with his age, forced to wait until this year, can't get a team to join in Pacific, has to join Wolves, the team that had zero expectations, were written off by the community coming into this, and just can't stop winning. The confidence is flowing. Like Sufat said, he has no fear of being eliminated. They've defied their own expectations already, and they just want to see how far they can take it. It's unbelievable that they've gotten to this point.
And Wolves, they want to keep that underdog moniker for as long as humanly possible. But after a game like this, I don't know how easy that's going to be for them to maintain. They are toppling some incredible teams, but I've got to say, RRQ would be by far the biggest, most high-profile notch in their belt ever. And they pick Ascent against them. The audacity to choose RRQ's best map to start the series, and they take them to task. They're doing the same now on Icebox. Jemkin might not get an op back in his hands. He's saving this round for perhaps exactly that reason.
RRQ are just thrust into another tragic by Monyet with the hero rifle that he saved from that last round. Perhaps here, if they can get a cheeky kill, there will be an opportunity to commit the ultimates that they have. Cushy is getting close to that Hunter's Fury as well, just one orb away now. Jemkin is pushed up. He wants to take another first engagement, but it looks like he's just going to be flashed off this line by YU, and you're going to have Juicy swing out of this dark cover. Here it comes, forced to retreat.
Cloudburst gets him out, but Jemkin wants to linger. Knows that if a player pushed up and a weapon upgrade was offered to him, he'd gladly make use of it.
These lurks from Wolves have been getting so much impact as well. Spring has just picked his moments, really bided his time until the exact timing to spring the trap. Dizzy over time, it catches Cushy at 410, dangerous, but the dark cover will keep him protected, allow him to retreat.
Yeah, Juicy doesn't really want to test it. Despite RRQ being on a weaker buy, Spring also could try and... Bro, what? The mosh pit for Crazy Guy! That is a devastating loss. Cushy now is going to start hunting for something. The clock is starting to bleed. Wolves are really slowing the pace down.
It feels desperate. They're letting
30 seconds
RRQ
left. Right there.
Scramble, fear the oncoming hit, get into bad position. Sufa ready to swing. The lockdown is coming through. What a kill from Cushy.
Traded out. It's going to be a lockdown for the attack side as well. Both are going to be active. Wingman's going to go and try and get a plant down, and Spring tries to get involved from mid. Juicy is there!
One enemy remaining.
And it's on Monyet. Again, he's forced out of it. This time, though, he has got no choice. He's going to deliver some pure magic for RRQ.
That was absolute chaos with the double lockdown. The wingman getting broken. Monyet pressing forward. Duel against Lightsor. Dangerous to even offer him that opportunity.
Now they know exactly where Monyet is. Over to the sky. There's an attack, but Juicy delivers yet again.
He has been lethal on this attack side, or running over RRQ.
Wolves with multiple opportunities now to close out the match. And Juicy's at 22 and 14. Lights out of the last few rounds. Viper's bid for a Wolves post plant. It's time for RRQ to pull out all the stops.
For all the hype that Jemkin has gotten coming into this tournament, Juicy is showing us who the real hot prospect coming out of Pacific is. He has been unreal. Crazy Guy forced back by the Dizzy, and it's Juicy over top again.
And it's on Jemkin. The first kill architect for RRQ, the star player, already silenced. Nothing's going right for this #1 squad from APAC.
And it seems like we're just going to go back to the same recipe for success from Wolves. They're slowing it down outside of A. Patience. Allow RRQ to make a mistake and then swing over the top. There's the Dizzy. Juicy kept the bait temporarily.
With patience. Pinged down by the recon bot and doesn't want to try and push the issue, but Cushy's already out of the picture. Sufat is chilling on the nano swarm. Wants to get that space. YU coming forward and now it's getting a little bit sloppy. Monyet and Xfero, last two standing.
One enemy remaining.
And it's all on Xfero to keep RRQ in the upper bracket. They don't know he's here. Sufat down on a timing. This will have Lysor's head on a swivel though. Turret to play with. All of his util at his disposal. Can Xfero solve the puzzle? Around the corner, Lysor and Juicy doubled up. Juicy in a position to trade should Lysor get information on Xfero's spot. He's on the move! And RRQ trying to run with the Wolves. Left in their dust.